theme of this year's Unification Day is really about service and how we define service and how we provide services to our families. Oftentimes, we want to tell families what they need, what they need for stability when they've been a family, this entire time. You've only involved yourself in their lives for a split second. It's really about how we engage in hearing our clients, hearing their voices, and truly working towards providing what they need as opposed to telling them what they need.
The old saying is, "There go I, but for the grace of God." You have to think about the opportunity and ability to help someone through what could be their darkest days, and telling the story from a different perspective, telling the family story is important and necessary.
Both cases that are featured were referred by caseworkers. Both these families wound up having extensive involvement with the agency over a period of years, but one in the context of post-removal and one in the context of prevention.
En el tiempo que yo fui víctima de violencia doméstica, yo había dado a luz a mi niña, a mi primera hija. Entonces, de ahí se involucró porque el papá de los niños me dio una tremenda pela, me dio una golpiza que me marcó. Y el momento que Daife llegó, yo estaba en la habitación con mi niña y el papá de los niños tenía una cuchilla en la mano y yo estaba en la habitación. Y él estaba discutiendo con otras personas afuera. Ellos me dijeron, somos del Estado, estamos aquí para remover a tu hija. Yo estaba en un segundo piso, yo pensé solo en tirarme y matarme.
By all accounts, she felt very much so like she was alone in the process and had to navigate child welfare on her own, and found it very difficult to really communicate what were her needs to child welfare, and similarly had difficulty with them reciprocating, and for a very long time had to endure back and forth with going to services and struggling to maintain financial stability.
Cuando ellos se llevaron a los niños, yo me volví loca. Yo comencé a fumar, yo comencé a beber, yo pensé en las calles, tuve relación con el papá de mi hijo de nuevo. Quedé embarazada de mi hijo, del varón. Estaba viviendo en casa de mi amiga. Duré ahí hasta los 5 meses de embarazo de mi hijo, yo duré ahí. En el momento que yo estaba en la calle, yo le dije a Daife, por favor, pueden meterme en un programa de Mami Me, o por lo menos pueden ayudarme con Section A o Housing. Ellos me dijeron, un señor que me dijo, no te vamos a ayudar porque tú estás joven y yo quiero quiero ver qué tan lejos tú puedes llegar o qué tan fuerte tú eres. Me quedé, mi amiga me dijo a los 5 meses que me tenía que ir, que ya no podía seguir ahí. Me fui a un hotel, me quedé en un hotel ahí hasta los 8 meses de embarazo de mi hija.
When this case was referred to us, it was clear from the referent that the only reason why child welfare was still involved with his family was because of poverty.
Poverty impacts our clients on a daily basis, be it through what they're requested to do, what the requirements are, and even when they're targeted by the division. So more famous people said it more eloquently than I did, but if money can fix a problem, it's not neglect.
It was once the caseworker that was changed to the new caseworker, it was her referral and letting us know that this is a case that's, it's probably being delayed for reunification purposes based on poverty. And that was really the difference here is a person seeing this client as a parent in need, as a parent who's worthy of, receiving the assistance that she needs in order to get her family back.
Llegó una señora de servicios legales que yo le agradezco en el alma todo lo que hizo por mí. Ella era hispana ella me ayudó. Entonces yo me fui del hotel, me mudé, compré todo lo de mi hijo, le compré cama, le compré cuna, todo. Yo puse mi apartamento lindo para mi hijo porque pensé que no me iban a quitar a mi hijo también. Ya tenía los 9 meses y ya me estaba a punto de parir. Y me acuerdo como ahora mismo, en el momento que yo parí a mi niño, Yaife llegó ahí mismo y me quitó a mi hijo. Yo le decía, ¿por qué me están quitando a mi hijo? Yo apenas estoy pariendo. ¿Por qué me lo están quitando? Ustedes no saben lo que yo estoy sintiendo ahora mismo. Y ella me decía, no, porque el niño es hijo del mismo papá de tu hija. Entonces, como tú sufriste violencia doméstica, estamos supuestos a removerte a tu hijo también. Me acostaba, lloraba, llegué a la casa, miraba las cosas de mi hijo, eso me hacía más mal. Yo llamé a Daifer, le dije a Daifer, yo no podía no más que yo llegué a mi casa y escuchaba a mi hijo, que qué pasaba, que si mi hijo estaba llorando, que si no me estaban tratando a mi hijo bien era. Ellos me dijeron que no, que yo me estaba quizá volviendo loca. Ellos me dijeron así, no, quizá usted se está volviendo loca, necesita terapia.
Therapy is such a loaded service for so many of the families and the parents. Let's take, for instance, a client who goes for therapy because she's struggling. She's got some depression. And in that therapeutic relationship, she opens up to a history of sexual abuse and trauma. And then she hears about it in court 3 weeks later. So we're re-traumatizing her through the court process. And then is that something else she'll have to do? Because again, we have 12 months, sure, according to ASFA. But I don't know anyone who is struggling with their worst day, struggling with the worst thing that's happened to them, who can turn it around in such short time while they're trying to battle whatever internal or external demons there are. And it's just does not seem as though they're really thinking about the impact of the long-term impact on the family.
It really becomes a fight against the clock for many families. And in the pre-litigation prevention atmosphere, there's not that time crunch, right? They're not under, some clock to make sure that they get certain things done, whether it be mental health services or addiction services or housing. In the prevention arena, we're able to communicate directly with the child welfare stakeholders, with the caseworkers, and give them an idea of what the client's needs are. In reality, if our parents are informing the process, then the outcomes are better for them.
Yo tengo 4 hijos y vivo aquí desde el 2017 con mi esposo. Decían que mi hija iba a la escuela, la niña especial, iba a la escuela descuidada. Me ponían excusas de pañales, me ponían excusas de wipe y yo siempre mandaba lo que ella necesita. Pero constantemente eran los problemas porque era una escuela de puros maestros que hablaban puro inglés y todo eran personas blancas y nunca tuvieron una buena comunicación conmigo como yo lo tengo ahora en estas escuelas aquí. Hay una fundación que me ayudó mucho, personas que estuvieron metidas en mi caso, que fue Tabata y Paulina.
Family and Children's Services is a non-profit organization located in Elizabeth, New Jersey that serve clients in different levels. Could be in outpatient clinic or could be in any other different programs that we have at the agency, like reunification or family stabilization. When our case got referred to our agency, she was recently moved to Union County. However, the experience that she had before in another school district, it was totally different, and she was very scared, and she didn't want to actually kind of advocate for herself because of her past experience. As a case manager, I was able to help her and give her some skills, or kind of advocate for her, or teach her how to advocate for her, especially for her kids, because she had to be there for her daughter for the treatment and things like that. Most of the time she was not able to maintain a job, so she was in the predicament of facing eviction many times.
Nos dio el COVID a todos en mi casa, mi esposo perdió el trabajo, ellos no teníamos nada para la comida, justo se acercaba la Navidad, no tenía nada para mi bebé tampoco.
With the resources in the community like food pantries, all the rental assistance that was available at the moment because of COVID, she was able to pull through all the situation that she was facing at the moment.
Ellas siempre también estuvieron y metidas en mi caso, apoyándome siempre. Incluso hubo una reunión aquí en mi casa con DCPP, con ellas dos de esa fundación, más a dos encargados más de servicios legales para ver sobre mi caso y en la forma que ellos me puedan ayudar. También con una fundación se movilizaron en ayudarme para yo tener la patria potestad de mis hijos y ellos puedan ser residentes permanentes.
One of them especially has a special needs. She needs a lot of attention, but it was no medical assistance available for her. And because she was able to get legal status in the country, she became eligible for Medicaid. So that little part changed the whole dynamic of the family.
A veces tenemos miedo en estar pidiendo ayuda porque pensamos de que podamos tener problemas y todo eso, pero más que nada por nuestros hijos, porque ellos en sí son los que necesitan el apoyo y la ayuda de las personas que están de las diferentes fundaciones.
What keeps me going is knowing that it will be another day, that tomorrow I will have another chance to try harder to find something else. What motivates me, of course, is my personal experience of being an immigrant, of knowing what it feels like, no knowing English, no knowing the system, that you don't know where to go or where to find the help that you need. It's very hard when you get this phone call and they're having a crisis and it's like, how I can help this family, where I can find resources, where else we can go, what else is up there for her. But at the same time, it's a relief knowing that you left the family or you closed the case knowing that they are in a better place when they started with you.